Hello everybody, my name is Kingy B, and today we are back with another banger. And boys, I know I'm probably a day late in uploading this, but I still want to get my opinions out there. Wrestlemania 37 is wrapped, which means I have to put my reviews out there. I put my predictions out there. I was pretty wrong about a lot of things. Let's be honest, this show over-delivered in what they gave us versus what we expected. Show over-delivered 100%, and dude, I'm like so excited to just get into it. I'm gonna have some pictures up there, just kind of showing you around, showing you what's going on as I'm talking about it. Let's get in. And really quickly, before we do get into the video, guys, I am on the road to 100 subscribers. So if you enjoy the video, I upload every other day. So if this content interests you, hit that subscribe button, join the movement. So the night opened with Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre as announced before the show, which is good. Which is really good. I liked that. I liked that Drew McIntyre was able to get that first pop. Although I felt like the crowd reaction was going to be better for him. I did. And it seemed like almost maybe people had turned their backs on him. But at the end of the day, it was still Drew McIntyre in front of live fans. And we were finally going to see him in front of fans. And he was finally going to get his WrestleMania moment. Or we thought he was. No, because in the grand scheme of things, Drew McIntyre, too good of a good guy to not get distracted by the bad guys, was going for the Claymore kick, but slight hesitation. I liked the way they pulled it off. I liked the way they pulled it off, and where Drew wasn't, oh my god, blah, blah, blah. Like, he stutter-stepped, and that's all it took. He stutter-stepped the Claymore, which allowed Bobby Lashley to put the Hurt Lock and win. Now, as I'm recording this, Raw After Mania has wrapped up. And so if you're seeing this after that, Drew McIntyre is going to challenge for the WWE Championship again at WrestleMania Backlash. Maybe he'll win it there. I don't know if they want to put the belt on him. I do like Bobby Lashley as champion, but I really want to see Drew be champion again. All in all, though, very good match. That match isn't up. After that, they got straight into the absolutely weird tag team turmoil. That was good. It was good for what it was. I will admit, I'm not one of the people who absolutely hated it, but it wasn't that great. Let me explain. I'm gonna put some of the fault of the night on the rain, the weather, not the superstars, and being back in front of fans for the first time in X year, and then like 13 months. I mean. And it was amazing. I'm sure their nerves were running high and everything was wet. But the women missed a lot of spots. Everybody in the night missed spots. But the women missed a lot of spots. And which is fine. Everybody misses spots. But like there was even that one point. Oh, this would have been night 2. So we'll talk about that later. But I don't know. All in all, I just kind of felt like the match was there. Tamina and Natalya got the win, which means they go on to night 2 to face Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler for the Women's Tag Team Championship. A match that nobody asked for. I really believe that nobody asked for that match. All in all, not terrible though. I'm still at this point satisfied with WrestleMania, as I was throughout probably the entire show. After that, we moved into probably one of the most feel-good moments of the entire show, Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. Cesaro finally getting his first ever one-on-one singles match at WrestleMania, which, yes, obviously was a huge build of this match, was that, oh, Seth Rollins doesn't like being swung, it's embarrassing. Oh, Cesaro's never had a singles match at WrestleMania. Let's put those two together. It was obvious going into the night that Cesaro was going to win. In his first ever match, he wasn't going to lose, but they did awesome. The way they executed it, everything. Cesaro is such a good wrestler. Seth Rollins just proved again why he's one of the best in the business, best in the planet. I mean, he's up there. He really is up there as one of the best on the planet. And him taking this loss on Sunday or Saturday to Cesaro didn't hurt him at all. I don't think it hurt him at all because he's at that level where he can lose to just about anybody and it's still Seth freaking Rollins at the end of the day. Cesaro needed that win, and hopefully bigger things are going to come for Cesaro out of this. Maybe a mid-card title push that moves into a world title push, hopefully with what they're doing with Big E right now. We'll still have to wait till Friday to see. But I'm excited to see what direction they go in with Cesaro and Big E moving forward. By the way, that last match gets an up, and the tag team turmoil was just a flatliner. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. Zit. But we moved on to the third to last match on the card, I believe, which was AJ Styles and Omos versus the New Day. Some people did not like it. I think that the delivery of this match was absolutely beautiful. And just because the green screen was looking a little weird, I thrown on a hat. Some people didn't like this match, and I loved it. I think the storytelling in this match was simple and beautiful. The New Day tag team for what? A bajillion years now. Have held the titles for a bajillion and 2 years. I mean, they were holding the Raw Tag Team Championships when they were infants. Like, they have held these belts for such a long time, and they're veterans. The New Day is at that Seth Rollins level that a loss does not hurt them. A loss will not send them to the bottom of the locker room. They have lost multiple times over the last couple of years, and they're always at the top. You know, i.e. Seth Rollins, and i.e. AJ Styles. These are all untouchable guys, so you could have went either way in this match, but to do it the way they did it, I think is beautiful. I think it was beautiful the way they executed it, because AJ Styles is not a tag team wrestler. I mean, they emphasized many times throughout the match, AJ Styles has never been in a tag team, has never won a tag team championship, and he was getting bullied by the New Day the entire match, because he's not a tag team wrestler. He didn't know what he was doing or how to act in the ring because he's not a tag team wrestler. He doesn't know how to cut the ring off from one side to another because he's not a tag team wrestler. That's the story they were telling. But when he finally got that hot tag into Omos, which at some points I almost felt like wasn't going to happen. I felt like we were almost getting baited into not seeing Omos at all, and then he hits that tag and Omos dominates at 7-3, just destroyed the New Day single-handedly and pinned him with one foot. This is going to be a really interesting story to just see how it moves forward, but I gotta say, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the way they booked this up. And we moved on from that match, very mixed match, to a match that I think surprised all of us. Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon in a steel cage match, a match where you can't run away, even though you can. Like the most popular way to win the match is to actually run away, like to escape the cage, which Shane McMahon did try to do multiple times. Braun Strowman came out, was attacked by Racist Striker and Elias, and you know, it's kind of predictable. I actually didn't predict that it was going to happen in this sense, in this match. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of cool spots in this match. There's really not much to talk about, other than what you already know I'm going to talk about, is Braun Strowman grabbing him by the wrist, ripping through the cage. And at that point, I thought he was going to, running power slam off the second, third rope and get the pin. No! He threw Shane McMahon off the top of the steel cage, which is, 15 feet tall? And, like, Shane has done some crazy spots before, like, I don't know, jumping off the top of the Hell in a Cell, but that's different because he always lands on the table. There's cushioning, there's an airbag under there. There was nothing. It was an awkward front flip. It was just an awkward front flip, landed on his neck, and then to make matters worse, Braun Strowman actually running power slammed him after that. I don't know, I'm going to assume, Shane is fine, and that he didn't actually get very hurt from the chokeslam off the top because no X was thrown. He didn't tell Braun, hey, end the match here, I can't do it anymore. Kudos to Shane McMahon at his age, 50 plus, being able to do this. We all appreciate you, Shane. Thank you. This match gets an up. Now, I think the match that everybody is going to remember in a few years and be like, wow, that was spectacular. The Miz and John Morrison versus Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. This match over-delivered. This match over-delivered more than any match on the entire card. We typically see celebrities come into the wrestling world and not care, not take it seriously, or maybe they do care. Maybe they do take it seriously. And they just don't have the skill or the tools necessary to survive in this world. And to see Bad Bunny, who's even much smaller than I am, and look at me. Like, I'm tiny. I'm small. Like me, I'm 6'3", like almost 200 pounds. Bad Bunny's a lot smaller than I am. And I'm going to be the first to admit, I couldn't do half of the things he did inside of that ring on Saturday. He was fantastic. I mean, some of the spots that he was hitting, that weird like Panama Sunrise or Bunny Destroyer on the outside. Like, I get this will probably be the last time for a while that we see Bad Bunny. And that's okay. Because typically celebrities leave after WrestleMania. After they do their thing, they get their promotion, blah, blah, blah. They leave after WrestleMania, and they almost always leave a sour taste in your mouth where you don't want to see them back. I genuinely can't wait till SummerSlam or next year's WrestleMania to hopefully see Bad Bunny in another program in WWE. And hopefully, if he puts the same work ethic in that he did this time and the next time, maybe he'll train the entire year for this time. I don't know. Beautiful match to see. 2 ups for me on that one. And if you thought that last match got 2 ups, this one's about to get 93. The main event of night 1, Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. This match tore the house down. Probably the best match on the card in my opinion. Cesaro and Seth Rollins was close second, although it did have a weird finish. Just to not spend too much time on it, Bianca just destroyed it. I mean, the press, the gorilla press on the outside, walking up the stairs was brilliant. The hair whip into Sasha's side just looked entirely brutal. And then the finish was fantastic. This match gets as many ups as you can put it. Bianca Belair walked away as SmackDown Women's Champion, and I couldn't want anything better. So night 2 did kind of end up on a negative note. I don't want to say it, but it did. It did. It started on a negative. Randy Orton versus The Fiend. I believe the match was like, 3-4 minutes. The Fiend, no-sold everything, which is fine, because that's his character. He no-sold everything, which is his character, and that's completely fine, but to actually, someone who kicks out of everything, to get distracted by Alexa Bliss, and then to take the RKO, 1, 2, 3, that's it, and then to just get up and just look at her. I get it when it comes to The Fiend. He's one of those more untouchable characters, but with his character, it does help that wins and losses do not matter to The Fiend. Championships don't matter to The Fiend, that character. So that is a very good dynamic to have, because if wins and losses did matter to this character, it would be pretty bad. I do think, though, I do think that they are telling a good story with it after tonight on Raw. I won't spoil anything on Raw for those who haven't gone back and watched it or seen the taping of it yet. But with what they're doing on Raw, I'm intrigued to see what they're doing with Alexa Bliss. Hopefully, it's going to tie into something bigger for Bray Wyatt. I don't know if he'll stay the Fiend for much longer. I hope that he does, but I'm going to give this one another lukewarm, but honestly, this match is a down. Up next, we have the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, and I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. Lukewarm, not a down, not an up, closer to a down, bad spots, it surprised me, because the only reason it surprised me and I thought it was even a little good is because I didn't care about the match. I mean, I'm going to be honest. It was okay. It was decent. It wasn't the best. I wouldn't go back and watch it in my spare time. Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax picked up the dub after, I will admit, the ending, good spot. Natalia didn't know, blah, blah, blah. Sharpshooter Nia Jax, and then Shayna Baszler comes in, choke, submit. Good ending. Not a great match, though. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, a match we all know could have been a showstopper, but instead it was only a 10 or 15 minute affair. I know this is due to time constraints and due to them needing to get on to bigger and better things. They still had an amazing match, as they always do. They put on a very good match, but it ended somewhat abruptly. I thought the match was going to go on for a lot longer, and then it just ended. Now, I did predict in my video that Sami Zayn was going to walk away with the win, but I do realize where I was mistaken in that the conspiracy theory story. I was thinking of it more that Sami Zayn just deserves a win, but I do think it's smart that WWE had Sami Zayn lose, and Kevin Owens beat him, stunner, blah, blah, blah. The stuff with Logan Paul at the end was great. Logan Paul sold that stunner like he just got his head cut off, and I liked it. Match is getting it up. Next up, I want to say maybe my second or third favorite night of all of WrestleMania. I love Matt Riddle, and his character. I think he's such an interesting character. We had Sheamus versus Matt Riddle. I knew going into the night that Sheamus and Matt Riddle that Sheamus was gonna win, which I'm okay with because Sheamus is awesome. Sheamus deserved a title, but they tore the house down. I mean, they beat the dog shit out of each other, and I couldn't have been happier to see it. Sheamus got another WrestleMania moment. Riddle got to perform at Mania as champion. Of course, he did lose, but he did walk into WrestleMania as a champion within under a very short amount of time on the main roster. I'm very happy for both guys. They beat the hell out of each other. That was probably one of the best bro kicks I've ever seen. Now, the Nigerian drum fight, Apollo Crews versus Big E. I don't know what to think about this match. It was good, but it honestly felt like a match we could have seen on SmackDown. Like, it didn't feel like a WrestleMania match. Like, the stipulation was cool, but it didn't do anything special for me. And then they had Kabadoo in the ending, helping Apollo win. I do think the right man won. I do think Apollo should have won. They should face off one more time, and then Apollo needs to go chase the Universal Champion. I'm sorry, Big E needs to go chase the Universal Championship after this. Overall, this match gets an up. The right man won. WWE did some solid booking, and Big E can move on to some much, much, much bigger things. 2 more matches left. Rhea Ripley versus Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. Going into the match, we all knew Asuka was going to lose. She's had a very lukewarm title reign, which is at no fault of her. It's just been terrible booking, which is so sad to see when you see someone as talented as Asuka. They just couldn't put the pieces together with it. I don't know if it's her inability to cut a promo due to a language barrier, or just maybe she didn't connect with the fans they wanted her to connect to. She's connected with me. I mean, I like Asuka, but there are moments that her promos really are terrible to me. I can't stand them. But Rhea Ripley came in and looked like a dominant force. I can't wait to see where this goes. Now, I will spoil this, that if you did watch Raw, you know that this is transitioning to a Rhea Ripley champion versus Charlotte versus Asuka feud. Absolutely cannot wait. I'm intrigued, but they got to make the build better than anything they made at WrestleMania for me to, sit down and want to watch that match. I do think it'll be a good match, though. And this match, right woman won. That's an up. And now for the main event of WrestleMania, and if I could give it so many ups, more ups than the Bianca Belair Sasha Banks match, this match gets unlimited ups because, wow. Roman Reigns, Universal Champion Roman Reigns versus Edge versus Daniel Bryan in what could be both of their last WrestleManias absolutely tore the house down. One of the best triple threats I've ever seen. And just an absolutely phenomenal match. I think they did amazing with what they had, and I just don't think they could have done much better. This match was fantastic. And the ending, I think the ending was brilliant. Not using a finisher to finish the match. Like, yes, Roman did hit the spear, but that's not what won the match. That is such better storytelling. Edge started going off, concerto to Daniel Bryan. Jey Uso gets involved. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, I did firmly believe that Edge was going to win this match by Jimmy Uso interfering, right? I believed Roman was about to hit the spear on Daniel Bryan. Jimmy Uso returns, distracts, Roman. Boom, Daniel Bryan with the knee, but then Edge out of nowhere, spear, 1, 2, 3. Edge is Universal Champion. This ending that they gave us was so much better. I never could have thought about this, on my own. Concerto to Edge, and then dragging Edge on top of Daniel Bryan to pin him. 1, 2, 3. I don't want to hear anything about, Edge pinned Daniel Bryan. No, he didn't. Edge's shoulders were down. That was fantastic ring awareness by Mr. Roman Reigns. Because if Roman would have laid him on Daniel Bryan without his shoulders being on the ground, Edge would have won the match. Fantastic storytelling, though, and fantastic ring awareness. I'm sure it's something, they practiced and realized that they needed to do it like that. But just fantastic ring awareness by Roman Reigns and ability to pull it off. Made sure that both guys' shoulders were down. He was on top. 1, 2, 3. The right guy won. A million ups. So with WrestleMania 37 in the book, guys, please let me know what you thought about WrestleMania 37 and leave your thoughts about the show in the comments below. If you did enjoy the video, boys, I got some other videos that you would love to check out, a lot of wrestling content, some basketball content, blah, blah, blah. We are on the road to 100 subscribers, so if you did enjoy the video and want to see some more, hit that subscribe button and turn the bell on for post notifications. It is completely free. You can always change your mind later, though I don't see why you would. Until the meantime, boys, my name is Kingy B, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.